Hi guys, welcome back, and hello if you are new. I hope that you've had a wonderful week and that you're ready for the weekend. I cannot tell you how ready I am. I don't know why, but I'm just exhausted at the minute. I think it's all the madness of June that's just kind of caught up with me. But as we close out June, we move into July, and today is the 1st of July, which means that at long last, it's taken 4 years, but we've now got the follow-up to Conjurer's Maya in the form of Pathos. So join me this week as I delve into this fantastic So Conjurer are a band that have been wowing the metal community ever since they first released their EP I or One, I'm not entirely sure which one it is, and then their debut Maya back in 2018. Maya, as a record, basically received critical acclaim across the board, and fans absolutely fell in love with the band. Conjurer's sound is incredibly heavy, it's very dense, and it melds elements of post-metal, death metal, a bit of prog, I would say, as well, and some avant-garde sort of stuff thrown in there as well. So their new album, Pathos, I'm still not quite sure how to say it, but you can check my interview with Connor for the correct pronunciation of it. Pathos essentially means suffering, and there isn't necessarily one unifying theme throughout this album. However, that doesn't mean that it doesn't tackle issues of suffering. We've got Alzheimer's, which is tackled in All You Will Remember, and then you've got the idea of this kind of personification of depression and anxiety on Rot, and also It Dwells. And there's also looking at the uncertainty of where we go when we die on Cracks in the Pyre. The record is not a happy affair. Much of it is very bleak and quite dense. So don't expect this to be a, hey, I'm feeling happy kind of record, because it's just not going to happen. There are moments on this album where I think the band move into slightly more progressive territories. For example, the post-rock influence Those Years Condemned, which is the longest track on the album. But most importantly, I think they kind of really bring this idea of the cinematic to the forefront on this record. And whereas Maya, for me, was also incredibly bleak, I feel like there are slithers of light which are allowed to kind of seep in on Pathos. In particular, the melody of Basilisk is probably one of my favourite tracks on the album, and kind of lends itself to almost like a Baroness kind of quality to it. This is followed closely by All You Will Remember, which I think is maybe one of the most poignant songs on the record, particularly when you find out that it's about Alzheimer's. And there's this fantastic spoken word section on there, and I have to say the lyrics that have been put together really kind of resonated with me, and I think the way that the lyrics were put together, the kind of portrayal of it is exactly what that kind of experience is like, and it's really it's very beautifully put, but also very, very harrowing.
I'd do anything to prevent what I'm putting you through, but I don't know who you are.
I also think that atmosphere has definitely been something that the band have been looking at more on this record, particularly at the end of It Dwells, after we've had those battering riffs. That song kind of falls away, and then Rot comes in with this really kind of like malevolent, creepy, like just very dark sounding clean guitar section, which almost feels like, you know, the Floors kind of left you in It Dwells, and then you're in this even deeper, darker sense of purgatory, I guess is. But you've also got tracks where they just kind of go straight to rip your face off, like Suffer Alone, which is just under 3 minutes. And it's a real kind of ripper, and I like that because there are a lot of, you know, slightly longer songs on here, but it's good to have that sort of like high energy ripper that you can just kind of really nail. also want to mention the fact that I think this album is very weighty in the fact that the riffs and the drums, when they kind of combine together, are an amazing experience, but it's quite uncomfortable just due to the sheer weight of it. However, I will say this, that Maya was a lot more immediate and clicked with me a lot quicker than Pathos or Pathos did. But having listened to it a lot, it's growing on me more than Maya was. I would say the only kind of slight downside for me is In Your Wake. That song, I don't know, maybe it just hasn't clicked with me just yet, but for now I just kind of, I don't get the same vibe. But the good thing is that right after that we've got Cracks in the Pyre, which finishes the album on an incredibly high point. Conjurer have combined an emotional depth that is as heavy as their signature guitar riffs, and they have created a truly exceptional piece of work that will no doubt enhance their already fantastic status. So thanks ever so much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this album review and it gave you a little bit more of an insight on what Pathos by Conjurer is like. And if you are interested, I interviewed Connor Marshall from the band. It's about a 40-minute interview and we go in depth into the album. But let me know what you think of the video and the record itself. Next week I will not be reviewing anything, but I will be doing a best of 2022 so far, so make sure you tune into that. And I will see you guys next week. Take care, my friends.